Nick, what's up, dude? How was your Memorial Day weekend situation? I know that you were doing something awesome
I
on.
wish I could say I was for sure. I mean, it was we didn't have the best weather here locally in Rhode Island. It was a little chilly, so I think I paid about 2 grand to heat my pool for the 3 days. But it was a lot of fun. We had kids had a bunch of people over. I got a nice round of golf in on Memorial Day, a little bit of work mixed in, but it was great. How about yourself, Joe?
Good, dude. That's a good question. So I live in California now. As you know, I live in Orange County, and like nobody gives a shit about Memorial Day, right? When I lived in Jersey, we were like locked in like our houses for 8 months out of the year. And then if you've ever seen the show Jersey Shore,
Oh
I
yeah,
would travel and people would be like, "Is that really like?" So just for reference, the Jersey Shore, that's exactly where I grew up. Like where they were like
yeah.
raising hell. That's like to the point where like on one of the very first episodes, like the bully from my high school got into a fight with the situation. Like that's
Oh,
how
that's funny.
close I grew up to like that I was like the next town over. So like at the Jersey Shore, man, like it just erupts Memorial Day weekend. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
bonkers, right? So like out here now, the weather's nice all the time. Everyone's always outside, so no one's really freaking out.
No,
So it was cool, man. We what do we do, man? Just I live on like a double cul-de-sac, right? And so like I'm lucky, man. I have 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, so we all like my neighbors are all the same, so we all just like pull our grills out and just have like a somebody they set up tents and the kids play, and we set up like a pickleball court and stuff, and we have we went to like a friend's pool and hung out. So it was awesome, man. It was a good weekend. It was super mellow, man, but it's a lot like how most of our weekends are.
Sometimes those are the best weekends, right?
Totally, man. I
That's cool.
think dude, so where I want to get started is where we left off last time. You and I ate about $30,000 worth of sushi
We
about a month
did.
ago, right?
My wife was very jealous when I showed her the picture and told her the story, for sure. I mean, the size of that plate was absolutely bonkers. I could not believe it when they brought that out. And the fact it came back after the main courses, too. But it was a great way to end that dinner, and that was a lot of fun. And I think we even went back for seconds on the table next to us, right?
Yeah. I never I ate at Nobu in New York like once. But I think I ate at like Nobu on the side. Like you know what I mean? Like there's like two of them next to each other. But like when I was telling my friends I was going there, they're like, you gotta get this and you gotta get this. I was like, dude, I think they're just gonna give us whatever's there. But everything everyone told me to get was on that menu, right? Like but when we were eating, you had shared with me when you have your wife sends you to what is it, Shake Shack and like
Yes.
Chick-fil-A to create charcuterie tables for the kids. Can you tell me? That was awesome, by the way. I'm going to do that.
They love it. So we put a pool in last year. I spent way too much money. I buried a ridiculous amount of money in my backyard. But I got to say, it's one of the coolest things that we did recently at our house. So we put the pool in, big patio, little pool house. And our house has just kind of become like the neighborhood hotspot for the kids to hang out, which has been great. I got a 13-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old daughter. And just the fact that we are, ground zero for the neighborhood hang is fantastic. And my wife one day last summer sends me out. She's like, "Hey, I got an online order that you got to pick up at Shake Shack and another one at Chick-fil-A." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, two online orders. Go pick it up." I'm like, "All right, whatever you say, hun." So I forgot it might have been like 4th of July or something around that time frame. I get to the first spot in the Shake Shack, and it's like $200 worth of Shake Shack, and it's like 25 burgers and fries and nuggets and all this stuff, and it was similar to Chick-fil-A. And so she's like, I'm like, "What is all this for? Are we feeding an army right now?" And she goes, "No, no, no. I saw this on TikTok or whatever." And I bring it back home, and she cuts it all up into like bite-sized servings, puts it on like this big charcuterie board, and it's just like a hit. The kids, and even the adults. I mean, we're all grabbing little pieces here and there, and it's the best thing that she's done from a food and entertaining standpoint. People absolutely love it, and I think that'll be a new tradition for us for sure. So,
That's smart, man. Your kids are gonna have a lot of friends, man.
oh
Between the
yeah,
pool and the Shake Shack and the Chick-fil-A, man, it's gonna be hard to like not be popular in that neighborhood, right?
exactly. Might be a new
So
prospecting tool. Just have all the parents come over. We'll start talking about real estate eventually. I'm sure. So.
dude, totally. That's all it is, man. Tell us quickly about and by the way, Rhode Island, man, I think everyone just what is a dark and stormy? Can you like tell me what that is? Is
Oh,
that
I
like what you guys drink
know my
there?
spot. So dark and stormy. I don't drink them. I believe they are Rosling's rum, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. It's yeah, it's like ginger beer.
Yes, and ginger beer. Yep.
I did a little research on Rhode Island. I've never been there. And it's
Yep.
like dark and stormies, salt box, houses and
Yeah.
lobster rolls. Is that accurate or is that like
Pretty accurate. Yeah, lobster rolls is definitely up there. You missed out on hot wieners. I think we talked about that at that dinner too. So we have a type of hot dog that I believe only is approved by the the FDA or whatever in Rhode Island. It's like a smaller hot dog. It's got kind of a snappy exterior to it, and then they put it in a steamed bun with some meat sauce, raw onions, celery salt, and mustard. Sounds terrible, but I gotta tell you, it's delicious.
what's
So
it called again?
a hot wiener, New
Yeah.
York system hot wiener. So it says New York system. They're supposed to be inspired by Coney Island dogs, but they are only served in Rhode Island. So it is a Rhode Island staple, and you have it with coffee milk. Is another Rhode Island staple. So it's like chocolate milk, but it's coffee syrup.
Does it
So
have caffeine in it?
no, no caffeine. So it's just like a syrup that we make that is similar to chocolate syrup that you make chocolate milk with, and you have a coffee flavored milk. It's actually delicious. My senior year of high school, we had senior privileges. We could leave every day for lunch, and me and my buddies left every single day and had hot wieners. And I'm like, I don't know how I didn't die my senior year, or that I've had a heart attack yet. Knock on wood. But it was absolutely the most unhealthy lifestyle. And it's I made it through. I went a couple of years without hot wieners, but now it's like a once a month thing. So.
Dude, we chopped this up for social media. The hot wiener that is gonna totally make it too. The like, um, I had Jeremy on. Did I tell you he met Ric Flair when he was in a towel? He was like a bus. He was like a person that delivered your food at a hotel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Speaking of what famous person have you met?
I met Tom Brady at a concert early on in his career. So Tom Brady was one. Billy Joel was another one I met on Block Island, which is a small island just off the coast of Rhode Island. Kind of similar to Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard in a way, but it's very, very small. I think it's 7 miles by 3 miles. There's no commercial restaurants, businesses, anything on the island. All local spots. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful beaches. It's about a 45-minute ferry ride from the southern coast of Rhode Island. But one day I was out there. Billy Joel brought his boat into the marina that I was at. Met Billy Joel, met Tom Brady. Those are probably the two most famous people that I've met besides Joe Oz, you know? So
What concert? Those are two pretty famous people. What concert was Tom Brady at? And you,
it was actually Martin Sexton and Keller Williams, and it was at the Orpheum in Boston. And it was during my college days, and we were out, it was like hanging out during the break between the two shows. And in walks Brady with like the entire offensive line. I think Matt Light was a big Martin Sexton fan. And like nobody, it was a bunch of hippies. Nobody even recognized who he was. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Tom Brady. It was like right after the first Super Bowl,
wow,
and just started talking to him for a while, and it was really cool. So
that's awesome. Those are two good stories, man. Tell us about your real estate business, man. And I love about you, you have you're like generational real estate person, correct?
oh yeah, third generation. So I've been in for about 19 years now. But my family started this company back in 1949. So my grandparents started it. We have two businesses, an insurance agency and the real estate brokerage. And my grandfather started the insurance agency out of the second story of his house right here in Warwick, Rhode Island, back in 1949. He had his real estate license, which was very common back then, and he'd sell a handful of homes a year to his insurance clients. And that was kind of how the real estate side of our business was for many years until the late 70s. And then my grandfather one day said to my grandmother, hey, you're going to go for a free breakfast tomorrow morning because there's a business opportunity that I want you to explore. And he goes, I didn't know I was looking for a new business opportunity, but he goes, Century 21's coming into the state of Rhode Island. They're hosting some people to consider franchising with them, and I think you should do it. She goes, I didn't know I was looking for a job, but sure, I'll go check it out. And we became one of the first Century 21 franchises in Rhode Island, and she was an absolute dynamo, really grew the real estate division back then in the late 70s and 80s. We were, I think she had about 30 to 40 agents at the time. We were with them for about 20 years, and then my father, second generation, there was some changes with that company at the time. They decided to go back to being independent in 1998. We've been that way ever since. I got into the business in 2006. I actually got licensed during my junior year of college. Started just kind of learning the business, kind of exploring that as a potential career route. And then I got started full time in 2007, almost like a week after graduation. Bought a house, which was crazy because I had never sold a house at that point. I had a little bit of ancillary income, but not much at all. I could fog a mirror, so got approved for a mortgage back then. Bought a house, and then quickly was like, oh shit, how am I going to pay for this thing? and kind of figured out how to prospect pretty quickly, how to grind, how to try to make some money and keep that house, which I was thankfully able to do. So interesting time, 2007, 2008, getting into the business, but I definitely think it was a blessing to learn the business during the tumultuous times that we faced back then. So,
That's rad. And then you guys are still independent.
yep.
And then tell me what it looks like today.
So when I joined the business, it was very much a mom and pop. My father actually got kind of fed up with the growing brokerage model and kind of really scaled it back. So when I got into the business, we were about 4 agents, and it was practically all family.
Nice.
Now myself, I got in, started as a solo agent. Career really started to take off after 3 or 4 years. It didn't happen immediately for me. I was a young kid. I was 21. It was tough to get off the ground back then, and obviously market conditions as well. But eventually my career started taking off, and I was doing, 30, 40, 60 transactions a year on my own. And then it became like, let's start a team. Like, teams were very popular. And my father at one point was like, hey, listen, Nick, like, you're doing 60 deals a year, whatever. There's only so much time in the day. You got young kids, you're probably hitting that, glass ceiling more or less. And I just didn't want to believe that. I'm like, I know there's room for growth. I know it's not super popular in Rhode Island, but I know there's other ways to do this, and started, building relationships with other team leaders around the country. And then I started, at the time, we called it the Nick Slocum team, within our brokerage. And then so that started to grow, and we started doing really well, ranking as one of the top handful of teams in the state. And we kind of evolved into a team within a brokerage, but we were doing like 85 to 90% of the business within the brokerage. So it kind of got to be an unhealthy mix, and like, who's on Nick's team, who's not on Nick's team. And a few years back, my father's in his late 60s now, and I was saying to him, like, hey, listen, when the time comes for you to retire, I know I'm in ownership now, but when it's me, only running the show, I'm going to run this all as one team. I believe in the team concept, and we kind of decided to go down the teamerage route then.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, listen, like, why are we going to wait a few years until I'm gone? Let's do it now. Like, let's just make that transition, move into a teamerage, and I'll be here to help support a little bit in the time being, for the time being. I knew we'd likely lose some agents, which we did, who weren't a fit for the team model. But we've really kind of evolved over the last few years. That was in 2022. We've got a great group now. We're up to about 30 agents. We've got 6 or 7 on the support side, including a couple of VAs as well. Certainly believe in that service concept, and it's really treated us quite well. And we've been going down that path now since that time frame.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. What I also believe in the team, right? Well, it's the future. So like, I mean, I think what agents doing like 9 or 10 deals, everything's awesome, right? Like you doing 60 deals, that was like, I believe that you have superpowers, right? Not everyone can do that, right? Like, and you probably were right, man. I remember when I was there, and it was like, I remember having like 2 phones. I don't know why I had 2 phones, but I did. I thought that was the solution. Like that would fix things. My phones
Sure.
made it worse, you know? Like my wife would like kill. She's like, now you have 2 phones ringing. But yeah, what do you think if you were talking to like so yeah, I think I was just having a conversation with an agent. Yeah, I did like 9 deals, and it's like we start talking about splits and stuff. They want to double their business, but they don't realize that once you get to 20 deals and then 30, like then you have to start paying for marketing, and you're probably gonna need an admin, and you're gonna need this, and and on team, I believe that you can like really easily, like seamlessly grow your business because
Mhm.
everything's kind of there. What how would you explain the advantage of the teamerage or the team model to an agent that's new?
So we obviously have to do that all the time, and I think it's not a fit for everybody. First and foremost, I think you need to find somebody who's has a business mindset and is willing to leverage themselves and lean on support in order so that they have the ability to do even more. If they can truly plug into the system and let the TC deal with all the admin work, they can let the marketing department deal with that side. They can let the ISA even drum up ancillary business for them. If they can just focus on talking to people, and if that's not working, talking to more people, going on appointments, listing appointments, buyer consultations, just getting in front of as many people as they possibly can. If they can truly let go and plug into that system, their career is going to skyrocket. So it's so hard to do. So many people want to maintain that control. They want to fill in every form. They want to do every little thing. But if they can truly let go and see the big picture, I think our system supports an agent who, I want to support somebody who wants to do 12 deals a year. I also want to support somebody who wants to do 75 or 100 deals a year. Like, if you really want to do that, we have systems for showing agents. We have all of the support. We have everything in place that if you really want to plug into that model, it's going to work for you.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think what happens is I think a lot of times they don't want to. It's not that they want to do every little thing. I think
Mhm.
that's their comfort zone, right? Like
Exactly.
they want to feel busy or they want
Mhm.
to feel, and I think it's a lot about getting in. Like it's like me and you, man. Like whatever we've done well, it's because we've been able to like focus on our 20%, like our core competencies.
Mhm.
I think that's real. And like I love how you said it's not a fit for everyone because if you can't concentrate, like there's a $500 an hour job and there's like a $25 an hour job, right? If
Exactly.
I can keep you in the $500 an hour job, you're gonna be psyched, and I'm
Yep.
gonna be psyched, and really, it's like a rising tide lifts all boats kind of situation, I believe. And so, yeah, man, that's awesome, man. And then, so you mentioned VAs, man. I'm like, what is some of the support that you guys provide for your agents that they might not get elsewhere?
Yeah, so right now we have two VAs who handle all of our TC work. It's actually a husband and a wife, and they are fantastic. And this VA is an absolute rock star. We had an in-house TC who left our team literally with no notice. One night, email comes in, 9 p.m. I'm taking an immediate leave of absence.
Worst nightmare. That's
Yeah.
my fucking worst nightmare, dude. Like employee gap, like that, dude.
Oh yeah.
Worst nightmare, dude.
Brutal. And I mean, we had one TC handling all of our transactions, couple hundred transactions a year at the time. And it's like, what are we gonna do? Oh my God. And we had previously trained our this VA who was helping us out in a marketing support role on the TC model. Like, and we kind of abandoned it. We're like, hey, listen, it could work, but our in-house TC is doing a great job, so let's just keep her in marketing. But she knows it, thankfully. But at that point, we were just like, hey, Chloe, surprise, tomorrow morning you're coming in and handling everything on the TC side. Like, no more marketing. Like, this is your full-time role. And she just rolled up her sleeves and did it. Like, didn't bat an eye. And
Wow.
she was awesome. Since we've hired her husband, who was in a different role, different industry, who actually was attracted to our team and our structure. So what Chloe was doing every day, and we just hired him to act as a second TC on the team as well. So that's the admin support. We have my sales manager kind of operates as both the sales manager and COO. We work on an EOS model, so he kind of serves that integrator role, so to speak, on the team. We have an operations coordinator. We currently have two ISAs, and I believe we're adding one more ISA within the next week or so. The two that we have are both in-house. I think we're going to go down the road of working to add a VA to help out with both calls and kind of database management, so to speak. What else do we have? We have a marketing coordinator, and we have a full-time photographer on staff who does photos, videos, etc. With the amount of listings that we were doing and the amount we were spending on per transaction shoots, it just made sense to hire a photographer full-time. So we have him on staff full-time, and I think that kind of rounds out our entire support team right there. So.
That's great, man. What is like what does an onboarding process look like for agents joining the team?
Yeah, so we've been revamping that in the last couple of months or so, and we just put three agents through what we call our new onboarding boot camp, the Slocum boot camp. And we've got 2 weeks of full classes, 9 to 5. We want you in the office.
Wow.
We're going to go through all this training. We're going to sit down across the table. We have our leadership team, also mentors within our brokerage. They're going to help teach these classes. There's going to be built-in call sessions. Get used to getting on the phone. Get used to prospecting. Then hopefully within 2 weeks, I know you're not certainly not going to be the true foremost expert in the industry, but you're going to have such a head start, I believe, over similar agents at that point in their careers. And since we put that into place, actually the last group that we put through all put a deal under contract within the first 30 days.
Nice.
They're off and running, so we it's been pretty successful so far. We've run that a couple of times, and we actually just took all of that over the last few weeks, actually, and built it out in school, the online community platform, so that all the courses are there to refer back to, and we can continually update those as time goes on and move forward from there. So,
That's perfect, man. What do you do for fun outside of work? You said golf.
uh, what was that?
I heard you say golf, right? What else?
So traveling is a big one for me. I absolutely love traveling with my kids. All about experience. I want to go out with go away with my wife and kids as much as possible. I try for at least one vacation a quarter when I can. It doesn't always work out that way, but those are the best memories that I had in my childhood, and that I hope that my kids have in their childhood as well. So love to travel, love to get out of town. I feel like that's the only real way I can unplug. To be honest with you, it's like whenever I'm home, even if don't have any appointments, phone's ringing, questions are coming in, and it's just hard to really unplug. So traveling is huge for us. We certainly love to do that. And golf's my big one. I played golf in high school and college. It sounds more impressive than it is. I went to a small Division III school, so it's certainly not like I was threatening going on tour or anything like that. But I absolutely love golf. I love getting out there with my buddies, chopping it up, having a good time, and just kind of relaxing. That is another way I can kind of shut my mind off from business for a few hours and then kind of recharge with friends and then come back, ready to go. So that's fun from both a buddy standpoint, and my kids are also getting into golf too, so that's a blast. But yeah, those are kind of my two biggest hobbies. My oldest daughter is very much into field hockey right now, so we're constantly going away to tournaments and whatnot all over New England and headed up to New Hampshire this weekend. We were in Syracuse last weekend, and it's just it's a lot of fun. But it's something she loves to do. We love to watch her do it, so that's kind of where we're at right now in our stage of lives. So.
Where are some of the places that you guys like to travel to?
The Caribbean's a big one. We love going down to the Caribbean. We do Disney a ton. We've kind of definitely taken advantage of the kids and their ages, so we've gone to Disney far more than we probably should have.
Uh-huh.
We went to Disney last April. We spent 8 days in the parks, and I think I am Disneyed out now. I'm like, I am good with Disney for a while, so let's find something else. I surprised them last year. Almost got divorced probably. But we went to London on like a last minute trip to see Taylor Swift. Spent way too much money on tickets, but I have three girls in the house, including my wife. So it's they all love Taylor Swift, and it kind of came on late, like after the tour was released and everything. They started to really get into her, and I'm like, listen, who knows when we're gonna have the opportunity again? So I was sitting by my pool. I was on StubHub. I saw tickets for London, and I was just like looking at them. I was watching them, and I just hit the button, pulled the trigger. I think I almost threw up on the patio. I was like, oh my god, this is insane. And we just booked tickets and went to London for a week, and it was an absolute amazing experience. So,
Dude, that's
um,
awesome, man.
yeah,
How long were you in London for?
about 6 days. So,
Dude, that's Dude, if you want to go see anything that's awesome these days, you have
yeah,
to like throw up and spend all your money on StubHub. Like, there's no, dude. I'm a Knicks fan,
yep,
and they are. It's not. I don't know. It's not going the way I'd like to go right now in the playoffs. But I'm gonna
kicked our
be.
ass.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could say, man, we grinded it out somehow, but we dude, so that me and my son are going to be in Jersey like in 2 weeks, like when the finals would be there, and I don't think the Knicks are going to make it. I'm kind of like, "Phew, sweet," because I said, I was like, dude, if we're in Jersey and the finals are happening, I'm just going to drop 10 grand on like probably two tickets, or I don't know, something's gonna go crazy, and there's no way I can avoid it. But you're saying, man, it's those experiences, right?
It was so funny. So I was sitting there, I was looking at the tickets, and my wife and I are very open financially, and like we have shared accounts and this and that. And I'm like, how am I going to do this without her knowing? I'm like, her birthday was around that time frame. And it was like either the credit card, which I know that she gets notifications on, or PayPal was an option. So I like transferred money, put it in my checking account, hit the PayPal button, and then she saw the bank account before I told her, and she was like, "What the hell was this?" And I was like, "Oh shit, like I'm in trouble." So I was like, I should have put it on a business card and just paid him back or something. But it is what it is. But yeah, it was
It's funny, man.
a lot of fun.
So Nicole, my wife, we do the same thing, man. We go somewhere once every quarter. We just went to Yosemite for the
Oh,
first
that's
time.
awesome. Yeah.
That was all we brought, dude. The game changer was we brought e-bikes,
Oh
and
wow.
so we were just like, oh my god. There's like one trail. There's like one like the shuttles were down. So I saw dads like hiking 2 miles uphill to like see sequoia trees, and I'm just like on my e-bike, like my
Just
kids on
cruising
the
past them.
like, yeah, like later, sucker. Like, I made this massive invest. We live right by the beach, and then the surf spots that are you can get to through like on the e-bike. So it was awesome, man. And like my wife and Nikki just booked. We're going next month to London. Well, she booked flights to London, and I was like, "Are we going to London? Where are we going?" She's like, "I don't know yet." She's like, "We might go to Italy. We might go where we're just. I got us tickets to Heathrow. We'll figure it out from there." But how was your experience with the kids in London for 6 days?
It was fantastic. I actually really want to go back. So I was blown away by the quality of the food, the ability to get around the city, using the tube, the subway, and everything was super easy. We had such a good time. I would go back in a heartbeat. And I got to say, it was our first time going to Europe. I definitely want to go back to Italy. And I'm a huge golfer, so I want to go to like Scotland and stuff like
Yeah.
that, Ireland. But I got to say, having my wife and kids, and at the time my kids were 12 and 7, just the fact that there's no language barrier was made travel so much easier, you know. So that was huge, and there was so much to see. I mean, we had it all. My wife's a big planner, and we had spreadsheets and different things that we wanted to go see, and there just was nowhere near enough time to see everything that we wanted to see. But it was awesome. I would definitely recommend it. It was a fun city. We didn't get a chance to really go outside of the city, which we really wanted to do. But we'll be going back sooner than rather than later, I'm sure. So
Dude, it's so weird now because my wife and I, when we were younger, we traveled so much. Like when we did not have kids, like we had kids. I'm 45, man, so we had our kids like later, later, and so we traveled everywhere, dude. It was like when you're young and you're traveling, you could do like, oh my god, in like 7 days you could do like 3 cities, in Europe or whatever. But with kids, it's like a different scene. What were some of the stuff that you did with the kids, man? Like I'm sure there was like parks or museums and
oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
so yeah, I mean, we toured Buckingham Palace. We checked out Big Ben. We went to various museums. One was like a live art museum. That was pretty wild. Like
Wow.
where like paintings come to life all around you. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. So did some shopping, did a lot of eating. Visited various parts of the city. And then eventually, one whole day was at Wembley to see Taylor. So that was a lot of fun too.
That's
But
so cool, man. What
uh,
about the food? Like, the food was good? I mean, the Indian food is real good, right? And then there's
yeah.
like pub food. What else was there?
Actually, we went to like their Little Italy. I'm probably butchering the name. It was over at like the Warwick Avenue tube stop, which stuck out to me because I'm from Warwick, Rhode Island, so it was a Warwick Avenue tube stop. But it's like their Little Italy, so to speak. And we found this little hole in the wall cafe, like right on a canal, and like people were on these little canal boats going by. And the guy was obviously right from Italy, and it was just fantastic
Wow.
Italian food. And I mean, like in the Northeast, I feel like we're pretty spoiled with Italian food in Providence and Federal Hill, and like we're known for that too. And
Correct.
it was just unbelievable. So Italian food was great. We had some of the pub food. I had to do the old fish and chips. We went to the Black Dog, which Taylor Swift has a song about. I'm talking about Taylor Swift way too much right now, but that's all right.
Yeah, I think she's great, man. Like when that Insanity was going on, that Eras tour, whatever it was
Oh
called,
yeah,
I was like, I'm just gonna see what this is all about, and I put it on her music on Spotify, and I like 2 days later, I was like, just belting them out, man. Like it's, dude, I love pop music, man. Like who doesn't, right? Uh,
I used to go see Fish all the time back in college. Like that was my style. And then now I'm like my kids. I'm dropping off at school listening to Taylor Swift. And I just leave it on in the car, and it's like, hey, it's not too bad. So, but
no, no, it's great. Do you guys have any? So yeah, my wife gets crazy with the trips, but like, dude, if it was up to me, I would just like not go anywhere. Like, I'm such a not move around guy, but like, thank goodness she books the trips because you're right, man. That is like, dude, it's just a chance to slow down, like you said, and like that's where you make the memories. And I think we're gonna go to Japan in November.
that's cool.
Um, so yeah, it should be good, man. The 3-year old, we went to Hawaii in January or February, and
Yeah.
he was really good on the plane, but like the fifth, there's like a 6 hour flight, hour five, he was like biting his brother. It's like it got a little gnarly at the end, but we made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make it work, right?
Yeah, I went out to a conference out not too far from you over in Anaheim with the kid, and I had my wife and kids meet me out there, and then we did Disneyland for a couple of days, and we went down to San Diego. But I got to get out to California more often. I'd love to kind of do the Pacific Coast Highway and see all that California has to offer for sure. So
It's awesome, man. Yeah, I've lived here since 2018, and it's been, yeah, I absolutely love it, man. I think I told you, right? That's where my wife is. That's where my family is today. They're at Disneyland right
yep.
now. My son got up. He's like, my 3-year old. He's like, last night. He's like, Dad, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get on the Spider-Man ride tomorrow. I was like,
So
do you know that ride where you like shoot the webs at like?
that's a fun one for sure.
It's so fun, man. And that's so funny. But the thing kind of happened where I didn't know they were going to Disneyland until like last night. Like, and I'm like, no one told me. Like, definitely, I was not invited, like, and I got a little kind of, sort of, a little bit sad, and I'm like, during nighttime, that's when I found out. He's like, I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow. I'm like, you're doing what tomorrow? He's like, yeah, I'm going to Disneyland. And I was like, yeah. Then I'm like, you guys are going to Disneyland? She's like, yeah. So, but I got the house to myself. I get to work all day. I'm gonna go to yoga this afternoon and watch the Knicks game and see what happens, man.
3-1 right now, or
Yeah, I'm a huge lifelong Knicks fan. It's just been like pain. We're also like we're delusional. Like we think every year we're gonna win it. Like it's brutal. Like it's a brutal fan base. So, but yeah, it's 3-1 Indiana, and Yeah, I don't know. I don't kind of don't want to talk about it actually, but yeah, I'm not like you guys. Like like it's been 50 plus years since we've had a championship. It's not like there's been no success in that franchise
Yep.
since I've been alive. It's brutal.
I remember what that feels like. I was very fortunate. I think we were talking about this at dinner that night, but very fortunate that like when I was in college, the Pats won their first Super Bowl, the Sox won their first World Series, and then it was just like an absolute insane run. Just incredibly spoiled, and enough championships to last a lifetime there. So
For
I
sure,
feel
man.
your pain.
Yeah, either way, I think whoever wins that's going to march to their death when it gets to Oklahoma City, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like, yeah, it's not like you like get to like walk into like an easy finals game, right?
Yep.
So, out of all the places that you traveled, what's your favorite, with or without kids?
Oof. With favorite place that I've traveled, probably I just like going to the Caribbean, so I would say Aruba or St. Martin are probably my two favorites right now. I've never been out to Hawaii, but I do enjoy just a tropical beach vacation.
Yeah,
I like to relax that way, so I'd probably say that's my favorites. But from an experience standpoint, I think London was bringing the kids over there was probably up there for me. Um, I've had some great times out in like Colorado skiing, Vail, stuff like that. So again, we've probably been too locked into Disney with our kids at their age. Definitely not my favorite place to go to,
yeah,
but
yeah.
looking forward to expanding beyond that, certainly in the future. But I would say probably London from like the experience and a different culture and just going to a totally different country, with your kids and then all the history there. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would say if I had to pick right now, where could I go? Put me on a beach with a nice drink in my hand and some beautiful weather, and I'd be a happy man. So
I think you're right, man. Yeah, we have a spot on the Big Island, and we go there pretty often. And dude, yeah, there's nothing I like. I think that's why, like, I don't know, going to London, like, schlepping around. Like, sounds like a lot of work, man. But we go to the beach, dude. Like, the boys will like hang out. The beach is like a babysitter, by the way. Like, the beach like watches the kids, and then other kids at the beach like hang out. So I believe it is a moment to kind of to like just kind of relax. What So dude, welcome to the advisory board, man. How did you get in, man? No one asked me.
yeah, so yeah, it's an honor to be there for sure. So it was really pretty mind blowing the success of some of the agents in that room for sure. I would say, I've always been pretty fortunate to somehow find myself into rooms with people who I'm aspiring to be like,
Yeah.
it's been huge to be able to get in there and learn from you guys in just one meeting so far. I'm certainly looking forward to growing, getting to similar levels, and providing as much possible, contributions that I can. But I would say the way I got there, actually, it all kind of started. I was at a 1,000 watt conference, so we did a whole rebrand with 1,000 watt back in 2020. Actually, right when the pandemic hit, we went through a full rebrand. I was actually with Curator for a long time, and Mark Davison from 1,000 Watt spoke at a Curator Excellence conference. And it was funny. I was there with my sales manager, a couple other agents from my team, and I was like totally locked into what he was saying, and kind of just blew my mind on just branding and
Yeah.
positioning in like different archetypes of different strategies. And it was wild. And like the other three guys, like they were basically falling asleep in their chairs. Mark came up with like crinkled papers and just started talking, no slick presentation. And I came back and I'm like, we're gonna rebrand with this company. Like I was really, really impressed, absolutely blown away, and started talking with the rest of our leadership team and kind of started talking about the expenses and all that stuff that was involved. And everyone basically fell off of their chair and was like, what? We're going to pay that amount of money for a logo? And I'm like, it is way more than a logo. And kind of went through the whole process of explaining it. And thankfully, they just kind of blind trusted what I wanted to do and the route we wanted to take. And it was absolutely one of the best experiences of my career. It was a blast. So we went through that whole rebrand with 1,000 Watt back in 2020, which was a blast. And then I went to their conference. So to kind of bring this full circle, went to their conference, which was called Turn On a few years back, and then ended up meeting a few guys from Zillow there at the conference. Had a good time. Spent a lot of time talking about different various things, talking shop with them. And then that led to being invited onto the Showing Time Plus Agent Advisory Board, which I was on for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever that might have been. Kind of talking about all the different products that they have to offer there, Dot Loop, Listing Showcase, Follow Up Boss, everything on the tech side. And then they kind of sunsetted that a little bit and kind of combined a few of us into the Zillow Agent Advisory Board. So that was the way that all evolved. And super pumped to be there. It's great. It was great to meet you and some other people in the room, and I certainly can't wait to continue that forward going down the road. So
Yeah, the brand. So you met Zillow executives at the 1,000 watt conference.
exactly. Yep, met a few different guys there who worked with Zillow at the time. One was, I think his business card said the listing sheriff or something like that, sheriff of data quality. And he worked in the same department as a guy who was leading up the Showing Time Plus agent advisory board. So it kind of all evolved and snowballed from there. So
That's cool, man. Yeah, the branding thing that you shared with me, that is an awesome journey. I think that was a really cool story. I think especially because you are like the third generation and like they brought in like your family and your lineage and all that stuff. And that I was really jealous when I was jealous of the charcuterie and I was jealous of the pre-branding. I'm like, oh my God, dude, his branding is super cool, man. It's funny. Our logo is this. It's like kind of like
Wizard of Oz kind of deal, yeah.
well, it's kind of like, well, it's funny, man. I hired a marketing company to like rebrand us, and they asked me what we wanted, and I said all this like surf stuff, and they came up with all these like logos. You know how you go through the thing where they're showing you stuff, and at the time I was selling houses, and I always wore a bow tie, and my hair was like kind of to the side or whatever. And they were like, we went through this whole thing, and I just didn't like anything they showed me. It was like, I just didn't like it. And then we're sitting there and I was like kind of uncomfortable because I just didn't, they're like, well, which one do you like? And I should be like, I'm like, I don't like any of them really. And, at the time I didn't have, not, like we're investing in this, right? And I was like, oh God, do I have to pay them more money to like, and then they're like, oh, do you want to see the funny one that Bob came up with? Oh, and then they showed me this logo, like it's you, and I'm like, what? And I was like, I love it. And then we kind of like went with it, and and it was like, and it's kind of just stuck, and it just looks different. It looks different, and like it's just something different, right? And I think the thing I hate the most is like, dude, when we talk about branding or marketing or any of that stuff, dude, like I just tell people like, what do I do? Like people say like, what about marketing or branding? Like just don't make your image a house or a key or like what anything around, like make it a bicycle, just make it like something that's just stands out, right? Like make it a ice cream cone, make it a microphone. Just don't do a house or a key, right?
You
um
go to Fiverr and get that little house look. I mean, how many of those do you see?
Everyone got
Absolutely.
the same one, yeah, totally. What and then tell us about your production. What was your volume in units last year on your team?
So far year to date, we're like 92 closed as of this morning, I think, and about 44 pending currently. Last year we did a little over 220 transactions
Wow.
over the last year or so. Our average price point's about 450, but we've kind of really committed to growth over the last 6 months or so. We've added a lot of new agents. I think
Yeah,
our agent count has gone from about 18 to 30 over the last
that's
year.
awesome.
So we're looking to certainly coach them up, get that per agent productivity up to where it should be. But we're adding the agents on. We're certainly on track this year to go probably somewhere around like the 275 to 300. 300 is our goal. It's where we want to end up for transactions this year, and certainly continue forward up with growth going forward in the future years. So. Rhode Island's a unique market. Currently, year to date, I think we rank as the number 3 team in the state. Looking to obviously continue that march forward, going up. And historically, we've been the top team in our city, which is the second biggest city in Rhode Island, and top in our county, things like that. So certainly, we are very focused on our local area right now. Been entrenched here for a long time, 76 plus years. We are committed to the community. We do a lot of farming efforts. We started a nonprofit to give back to local charities and whatnot, and we do a ton just to kind of keep our faces out there in our local community.
That's awesome, man. So, and then you're saying, yeah, whoever's number one and number two is total nerds, and we'll beat them soon. That's really awesome, man. So,
Yeah,
like, we have a theme at Oz Group, like, kind of do more with less, right?
yeah,
Like, and like, it sounds like that's kind of where you guys are at too. Like, we want talented people doing
yeah,
a lot. We don't want a million agents doing 2 deals, right? We want like
yeah.
agents that are like careers. It's like the Dalio thing, like relationships worth having, careers worth having, all that stuff. Like meaningful relationships and meaningful careers.
Yeah,
What?
we truly feel the way who are part-time agents. It's just like that's not our model. We're not looking for agents who are dabbling in this as a side hustle or anything like that. We truly believe in the client experience. That is our North Star, more or less. And it's just simply like if you're not treating this as a full-time career, the client's going to feel that.
Yeah.
So I understand it's tough to get to that level and to, pull away from a W-2 job or whatever it might be, but we're only looking for agents who are committed full-time or have a plan to get to full-time within a few months. It's like we're not looking for that part-time agent. We're not looking for that dabbler. We are committed to our clients. We're committed to providing that best possible client experience we can, and either you're going to fit into that model or you're not. So.
Hell yeah. What is say if there was like no boundaries, there's no like in a dream, like where do you see like where do you see your business going in the next 2 to 3 years, or what's the goal, or what's the big rock, I guess, if we're talking.
Yeah, so I would say the big rock right now is we have kind of 50 agents in mind. 50 agents is the next number we want to hit. Not saying that's where we want to stop, but we feel like we're kind of in that messy middle right now, more or less. I think personally, my opinion is you kind of got to be like that small Navy SEAL team, kind of just doing a ton of production with a low number of people. Or you've got to, obviously push through to like that 45, 50 plus agent mark, in my opinion. So I think we're not. I think we're in that messy middle. I think we're coming out of it with where we're at right now, and we're having our best year ever right now. So we're on track for a big year for us. We're excited about that. We want to continue marching towards that 50 agent mark and then beyond. I mean, currently we're licensed in Mass and Connecticut. I'd love to expand into other markets, where we can certainly drive more and more business outside of our niche area right now. We sell throughout Rhode Island, but certainly the vast majority of our business is in the central part of the state. I'd love to expand and have more market share in different parts of the state and in other states as well. So certainly, if we can, the challenge will be to continue that customer experience that we've kind of worked on for so long, and repeating that process as we continue to scale and grow.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Dude, we're doing the same stuff, man. Are you guys a flex team or
We
market-based price?
are about 90 days in, so we are a newer Flex team. I actually turned down Flex when it first came out. Kicked myself in the ass for many years for doing that, but at the time went away from Zillow for a little bit. And I'd say one thing that I've learned in my career is you got to be willing to change. And at the time we weren't comfortable with they wanted us to like upload our entire closed transactions, all the info, and I wasn't comfortable at the time. But eventually it came around like they've got all the data on anybody anyway. It's like
Totally.
who really cares?
Like, oh, wait a minute, they're gonna have all of our info with Follow Boss. It's like, dude, they have everybody's. Like, if your wife is looking at houses online, they have her
They
info.
know.
Like, it's not, dude. People are,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, totally.
So we made a mistake, and we went back to market-based pricing, and we were having great success there, great ROI, and we were there for quite a few years, and eventually got the opportunity to rejoin the Flex program. And I know it's not quite those same requirements that it was back then, so it's a little bit different, and we are excited to be there. We've had great success out of the gate so far. The connection levels are increasing dramatically, and that's another main reason for recruiting. Is I think we're already at the point where we're almost at the point of needing more quality agents to handle the volume of connections that we're getting. So that's where we're at, and I'm sure that'll be a huge catalyst to help us grow. And I think our values align with Zillow's, and the consumer being the North Star. And I believe they are the one-stop shop, and they're going to provide the best possible service and experience to our clients, and that's what we're all about. So.
Dude, you should. We'll clip that so Zillow can hear it, man. We can like make an offering to the Zillow gods.
Good fun.
Oh my God. Yeah, but yeah, whatever Zillow, whatever you say, we'll do it. Thank you for the opportunity, right? Where are your so agent attraction, man? I think for us, like we've done everything. We're still doing everything, and but the best agents, obviously, it's like your sphere of influence, man. It's like word of mouth, and it's like usually the best agents on our team come from the best agents on our team, right? Like birds of a feather flock together. Anything else that's working for you guys besides that?
Man, I wish I had the secret sauce there. It's a constant challenge. We were talking about it in our L10 meeting this morning. We want to grow faster than it's happening, and it's tough. So I think you hit the nail on the head. Our best referrals come from our current agents. If they're making that warm introduction, that's going to be the best all day long. I love when our agents share things like one of our agents, Kelsey, who's absolutely killing it on Flex right now. I think she shared a recent win of hers as an Instagram story and had a caption or an overlay of text. I said like reason number 1,347,000, the reasons why I love this team, whatever it might be. So that kind of ground level marketing that doesn't feel kind of contrived, it's organic. That's going to be the best stuff for us. We've tried other things like all the recruiting platforms out there, things along those lines. We had some good success out of the gate, but it seemed to go stale in our market. So we're running our own job board ads right now. I'm creating a recruiting list that we actually pull out of Corded based upon our 3 agent avatars. So I pull them out of Corded.io each month. We put them into Follow Up Boss into separate recruiting pipelines. And I'm sending out like a weekly email called Tuesday Tactics, trying to start coaching them up even before they're on our team, providing hopefully more value than their brokers providing them. And always obviously subtle CTAs as to why they might want to explore an option with our team. But I'm sharing text messages that work, emails that work, scripts, objection handlers, whatever it might be, and just hoping to create that relationship before they're even thinking about making a move, maybe. So certainly not perfect at it yet. It is something that we're always striving to improve upon, and find new strategies to implement. And then the last thing I'd say that we've been doing recently that's been working a little bit better for us is we have, as I mentioned, 2 ISAs right now. Our head ISA, we put him on recruiting calls twice for 2 hours a day, basically, and just making calls, starting to nurture these people over time. Certainly, I would love to have the time to do it each and every day. It's just so hard with all the different hats that you wear as a team leader, brokerage owner, whatever it might be. Same thing for my sales manager with all of his one-on-ones. It's just tough, and so we've kind of created this team approach of my sales manager, our ISA, and myself to hopefully just position ourselves as their on deck team so that whenever they are thinking about making a move, hopefully we're top of mind. So that's kind of our current strategy, but talk to me again in 2 weeks and it'll probably be something totally different.
Bro, do you see me taking notes? I think you just like, I like got a coaching session out of it. No, so like, I love, excuse me. I don't know why I didn't think about just pulling from Corded and making smart lists and Follow Boss. I don't know why I didn't think about that. And I don't know why I didn't think about the objections and scripts. Cause we'll do like, dude, I'll get agents. It happened today, dude. I get agents that like my stuff and comment and I know who they are in the market. And the second I'm like, hey, can we hop on a call? It's just like as if I was like asking to like, I don't know, borrow their child overnight at my house, you know?
It's tough. It's tough. What's working for you, Joe? Out of curiosity, I need some learning here. So
Dude, totally, man. So it's funny everything you just said lines up. So we had dude, exactly what you said. We have an ISA that's got some extra time. Super talented. And well, dude, I'll tell you what's not working, right? So like we dude, we had a script where it was like, here's the thing, man. Like we're trying to my brand, my name is very well known in our market, right? So like anyone will take a call from me, right? So
yep.
like he just started lining up calls, like, hey, and the script was kind of like this, like it would be like, hey Nick, this is Bob from Oz Group. Joe Oz, has been watching your production, and like we see what you're up to, and we target certain areas because of flex, right? And then we're like, and we also have Zillow seller leads, so it'll be like the script would kind of be like, hey man, we have a really weird problem right now is we have more appointments with like human beings, not leads. We have more appointments that like with a date, a time, a house, and a human being that wants to see a property that we can actually place agents. I'm actually the ISA. It's my job to place them. And because we have so many of these, I'm actually reaching out to agents like you and see if you'd be interested in an opportunity like this because this is what we have available. Do you have a few minutes to speak to Joe? And then we talk about Zillow and things like that. And then they would say yes. And then he's really good on the phone. So I would have so many of these that we did this in the beginning, like Q1. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's work. Like, you have to tweak this shit. You have to keep failing forward, man. And
Always.
like, and you get a little bit like something's working. Like it's like progress, not perfection. And so like, then I'm like, I just had to shut it down because I'm like, dude, I'm talking to all these people. And then it's like, it's just not the right. So then we identify what the avatar is, right? And so now we've really identified who our avatar is. And so now, like literally this week, we're tweaking it starting on Monday. Well, this isn't going to be published till like 2 weeks from now because my ISA doesn't even know half of this shit yet or whatever. But like, so now what we're doing is there's a guy that runs our Zillow seller lead program. He's crushing it, and he runs he does the fall through for the flex stuff, and he crushes, and he does our pond and all that stuff, and he also is like on the team. He like loves it here. So he knows the deal, and he's passionate about it. So now I actually built out, and I can share this with you, man. I can share all this shit with you. I'm like rebuilt, like literally this whole week. I just was in Dallas for 2 days with our CEO Leo, right? And he was like, there every 90 days we meet, right? And it's like there's 2 days. It's like the first day is the top 200 influencers at EXP, and the second day is the top 200 teams. And he brings in speakers and like we all talk about like what you and I are talking about right now, right? Like that's what's special about these little rooms. And so day one he had Mike Del Prete come in, day two Chet Black came in, and a lot of it was around attracting agents. And what we learned is like at EXP, man, I think it was something like 86% of the agents that left last year were single agents, and they didn't go to another brokerage, they went to a job, right? And so like what's happening now is there's so many single agents that like the 6, 7, 8, 9 deal a year agents, it's not gonna work anymore, right? Like you're gonna have to like go, you got to do deals, man. You like you were saying, and so essentially this week I like shut down all my like I didn't like you working on the business work versus working in the business. This week I spent the majority of my time working on the business, and it was essentially on what you and I are talking about right now. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our because there's a lot of agents that so our avatar is you need to be licensed for 2 years, minimum 2 years, do 5 deals in the last 12 months. We look at your social media, right? If your social media looks like you are a realtor, like if a stranger would look at your social media
Business, yeah.
and their brain goes, "Oh, this person sells real estate," then that's an avatar. And then we speak to them, and they have to do I call it doing good phone. Like you just got to sound good, right? You got to like how I probably sound right now. Like right now I'm excited about talking about agent attraction with you, my friend Nick, so I have energy right now. So like if you're not excited about talking about real estate or an opportunity, and I think that's the most important, like call it like a red flag or whatever, because dude, agents, especially ones that don't have shit going on, dude, they're more than happy to talk to somebody that does have shit going on, right? And then you get them on the phone and they want to bitch and complain, and there's victim language, and they're like, my broker sucks, and I didn't get any good leads, and I missed the boat on this, and it's like it doesn't fucking work, right? So like, and I say this because shit, man, I'm the guy. We got Flex, and I'm a fireball, man. We went from 3 agents to 50 in like 6 months, and I realized I had to offboard 35, and I let like terrorists on the airplane. Like I had to learn all this stuff, man. I'm like, get like it's like that. My partner, remember Dumb and Dumber, where
Yeah.
like when Jim Carrey's like, "Hey, these guys need a ride," he's like, "Pick them up." And so my partner would be like, "Pick them up." That's what he says when I recruit, and he would make fun of me because I just got a boatload of ding dongs, So like, I think number one, man, is and again, you asked me what I'm doing that's working. I'm sharing with you everything that didn't work, which I think is even more helpful sometimes. But like, we were like Oz Group, Joe Oz, whatever wants to talk to you, and like that was people would talk to me, but then it's like I'm just talking to like I'm just talking to the people that are looking to get saved, and so now what we do is we built out a script where it's they're the ISA is actually doing the screening call because people didn't know what they were getting on the phone for, but now it's like a long screening call. So it's like it's the same thing as like when you set a listing appointment, right? When you're like, hey, I saw you were trying to sell your house over on Elm Street. I saw it fell off the market. Are you still thinking about selling that house? And then when they say yes, then it's like cool. Then there's like a conversation, right? There's like information gathering, and then so number one, we're gonna be like, oh wow, moving's a really big deal. What has you thinking about making a move, right? And then they're like, well, fuck, if the house is $600,000, if they're like, well, if I can get 800 for this, I would move. That's not, we're not going to go to their house, right? They're like, you know what? Grandma's down in Florida and I'm remote working now and I don't really need to be in Jersey. And, they reassess taxes every year in New Jersey. Like, dude, they keep reassessing. And, I don't really know, man. I would love to avoid, whatever, income tax or whatever. And be like, all right, cool. This guy really wants to go to Florida. And so we're doing the same thing now with the recruiting side. We're actually explaining them the opportunity because I would get on a phone and the number one question would be like, do I got to leave Coldwell Banker to get these leads? And then that means that we weren't really having a conversation or qualifying people. I saw you look over. Are you good on time? Or you got
No,
to?
totally good. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
cool. So I think like Yeah, that's what I've learned, man. And like for me, one of my blind spots is like I have a lot of blind spots, and it's really good to I recommend learning what your blind spots are, right? Because you don't like you want to not live in that world, right? You want someone else to pick up the slack, in your it's like the implementer thing that you just talked about in EOS, right? It's like, dude, us as visionaries, I have a million good ideas every year. One might be kind of good. You know what I mean? Like the rest should all be thrown away.
Yeah,
But I
focus
think that,
on how it works and what doesn't. Most doesn't, right? Well,
oh, dude,
yeah.
for sure. But it's like, um, but yeah, I think I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I think everyone can achieve, and I think everyone's a winner, and I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. But that's not true, right? And so ultimately, we've got to bring it through. But my sales manager, Chris, he's you'll meet Chris, he's awesome, but he's like yeah, he was the one that was like when he came in, he's like he was like, "What are you doing, dude? Like we're onboarding 8 people to offboard. We're spending a week onboarding 8 people to offboard 7 90 days later, dude. Are you insane?" And I couldn't see it, dude. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And I was like, "Holy shit, you're right." And you talk about focusing on the few, not the many, and staying in your core competencies and all those things. So I think essentially, yeah, man, doing that, like bringing in that screening call and being very, very focused on who our people are, areas. Like Zillow's given us an amazing, they're pushing us to expand. So we're going to go to Pennsylvania and having that avatar and like understanding who the right person is and like not letting in everyone really is what it is. And I think what you were saying is a lot of it is marketing. We do a lot of social media marketing. We do the mailers, the newsletter, the email newsletters. Like one thing that like everyone thinks email's dead. It's not, dude. It's totally not, man. And like I was one of those people that thought it was dead, and it's 100% not. So like we've been doing social media heavy. Like so, Joe Oz, like my social media is agent facing, like agent attraction, right? We have Oz Group marketing, which is for the consumer, right? We separate that. And like you said, man, like I love doing just giving back. We do events in Jersey. We're doing a sales rally in a few weeks. And so we invite agents, we get in a relationship with them. Um, that's kind of it, man. I think that's what's working. And then like we have an agent incentive program on our team. So our agents can be incentivized for bringing agents on and we just talk about it a lot. Right. And I say this like, if I have a conversation with an agent on our team, and our team's small too, man, we're like 25 agents maybe. And so what we'll do is like I always just say like, you know what, Nick? I tell my agent what I love about him, and I mean it, right? It's not a script. I'm like, dude, I love when you do, like this guy George on our team. Dude, I love your social media. It's funny, it's engaging, it's rad, it's awesome, it's like raw. And I'm like, by the way, dude, I'm like, winners hang out with winners, dude. Who the fuck do you know, dude? Because you're a winner, and I know that you have friends that are winners, and you're succeeding in this org, man. Who do you know? And dude, it's the same thing that we did when we were prospecting for business with our sphere of influence. We'd be like, Mary, holy Mary, on January 1st, Mary, what are your real estate plans for 2025? Well, I don't have any. Cool. If you run into anybody this year, can you just shoot me a text, man? I will, if you school, church, work, whatever, I'm your guy, man. And it's the same. Isn't it funny, dude? It's the same shit. Listen,
Yeah.
it's the same shit.
It's just a slight tweak in the conversation. Other than that, it's the same exact thing. But and you said so many good things there too. But like one thing that was big for us was focusing on that attitude, like you said. Actually, in my Tuesday tactics email this past week, I wrote about like what I think are like the 5 C's of success, and one of them is charisma. You got to have charisma. Like, you got to have some energy. You got to be excited to meet with people. You got to be a joy to be around. If you're not, if you're, like, don't be a wet blanket. If you go in there, you're not excited about the sale of their property or whatever it might be. Like that's so big. Like we've had agents in our office, one we used to call Eeyore. Like no, like this is like you can't walk around with that attitude each and every day. And whether you're recruiting or prospecting, it's the same exact situation, right? So
Well, that, dude, I had to, man, that's everything, right? Like those people that don't fit your culture, they're slow. It's erosion, man. They're
oh yeah,
slowly chipping away at and it's deadly because it's not noticeable. You can't see it, right? And then
exactly.
the craziest part is like, motherfuckers in your org will be like, Bob's cool. And you're like,
Yeah,
no, he's not. Like, it's so sudden. It's like, no, dude, he's like destroying everything right here.
yeah.
And, yeah, I think, dude, I built this thing remotely from I moved to California and I was like, I'm gonna go be a mega. I'm gonna go be like, I'm gonna sell like billion-dollar homes, dude. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
that guy, right? And I started to do it, man. I started to do my second deal in California was like a $5 million house. It was a PPC lead that I was just ripping PPC leads, right? And but when we had when the flex opportunity came up, that's how I got my opportunities. I started buying leads in Orange County, California. I had a rep and I found out about flex and I was like, give me a flex account in California. And they were like, dude, you can barely write a contract in California. They were right, dude. It's like these like 40-page contract. Learning how to sell real estate here was way different. I came from a blue collar, like Jersey Shore, like
Yeah.
town, but like the point we're trying to get at, man, is we opened up in Jersey, and then I saw the opportunity for flex, and I wasn't there. I was remote, man, and like I can't believe we pulled it off. I had to take whoever would raise their hand because that was the point when they were like you said no to flex, and at that same time, the people that were saying yes, everyone was trying to figure it out, and they were kicking people off left and right. Like we were in disengagement, man, and like we had to figure it out. Really, we got lucky. Like we were in disengagement, we got really lucky. We had one kid just crushed, like got us out of disengagement, and that's when like now if you've been in it for a minute and they know who you are and you have a bad couple months, that it's fun and they kind of understand that happens. But back then it was like, dude, they were like, get out, man. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even a conversation, it just turned you off.
You're
So
done. And I think everything happens for a reason because I don't think we were really structured for it back then. I don't think we had the accountability in place. We didn't have the true leadership in place that we have now. So I think it's a blessing, and not a blessing and a curse, but it was a blessing that we didn't actually proceed forward with it back then because I don't think we were ready for it. So I'm super glad that everything worked out the way it did because right now I think we do have that structure in place. And like you said, it was totally different back then. And, again, I'm excited about the future with it for sure. So.
it's true, man. Well, listen, dude, we can wrap this up, man. I love diving in, man. What where can people find you, man? I'm a realtor. I just saw this. I'm in Rhode Island and I'm like, dude, this guy is so sexy and I have to be on his real estate team. How do people find you?
You can find me all over the place. Instagram at Nick Slocum, at Slocum Home Team is our team account. Any other social channels I'm at too, slocumhometeam.com. So if you just Google my name, I'm sure I'll pop up all over the place. So in Rhode Island anyway. So that's where you can find me, and it would be an absolute honor. And it's been a lot of fun, Joe, to hop on here, kind of chop it up a bit, and go from there. So
They can find you at the Tate Modern at the London Eye. Yeah.
exactly,
Uh, at an Arsenal football match, right?
exactly.
Cool, man. All right, I'm gonna stop recording and then
Awesome.
I'll say goodbye to you as a human. Let me stop this thing. Boom.